Detroit Lions could make a swing on Dak Prescott. I think Matt Stafford, he's running out of age. He's only 31 years of age, 32. But still, you want a younger quarterback like Dak Prescott. I think he would be willing to trade Jerry Jones, maybe for Matt Stafford and a first round pick from them or something. But I think they could. I won't be surprised if Matt Patricia swings on this trade. It's Matt Patricia, and I think they could make this really blockbuster trade and maybe change their franchise with Dak Prescott. He's kind of got the same weapons. He's got Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones. He's got a better tight end now. He's got T.J. Hawkinson too. So I think the Cowboys, they could definitely swing a trade on to Detroit and maybe bring back Matt Stafford or a first rounder with him. That would be really. I think the Lions is a pretty good trade for both sides, for the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. The Dallas Cowboys, they could trade Dak Prescott to the LA Chargers. I won't be surprised if this trade happens. I think this will be a kind of really good trade. Maybe Jerry Jones trades them for Justin Herbert and Tyrod Taylor for both of them. I mean, they do have Andy Dalton as their backup, so maybe Justin Herbert and a pick for Dak. I think just imagine how much Dak could do in that Chargers offense. He's going to have Keenan Allen. He's going to have Mike Williams. He's going to have a tight end, too, out of Hunter Henry. He's going to have Austin Eckler and Josh Kelly. He's going to have some really good weapons, and I think you can trust a defense like that, like the Chargers defense. As you can see, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, so scary. They're not going to be that scary this year of the injuries and everything. And Derwin James, their defense is just flat out scary for any team to watch. And I think Dak, he has a better chance of winning a ring right there instead of winning in Dallas. I think this is a possible trade. I think Dak will also like this. If they can't pay him the money, I think he should say, why can I go to LA? I think it won't be a bad fit for him in LA either. I think Anthony Lynn always figures stuff out, and he's a good head coach. And I think he's gonna have he has a supporting cast and defensively, they'll be fine. So I think the Chargers could be a place where Jerry Jones says, "How about I got a younger quarterback out of Justin Herbert, trade away Dak, and probably get a pick for him too." The Las Vegas Raiders could be a potential place for Dak, because what if Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota don't do as expected? Because if Derek Carr, they're 2-1 right now in the season. I think Dak, he's gonna get traded in the offseason, not now. I think it's too risky to do that if you're the Cowboys. And I think as aggressive as Jerry Jones is, he won't be this aggressive and go at a trade or something. I think it might be a potential first round pick from the Raiders, because if Mariota and these two don't work out, they could just swing a trade and maybe bring in a first round pick. But I think this won't benefit Dallas. This would benefit Oakland. I think Dak, it's not a bad place to play at. Darren Waller, they got Josh Jacobs too in the running back, I think. And he also has Tyrell Williams and Henry Ruggs. It's not bad out there in Las Vegas. So I think it could be a logical spot for him if that's the last place where Jerry Jones thinks he can throw Dak Prescott in Las Vegas. So I won't be surprised if this happens. But if the trade is gonna occur late in the offseason, it could be this one. If the Raiders, if they don't trust Marcus Mariota and Derek Carr, this trade could happen. Number 3 is probably going to be the Chicago Bears. I think we know Nick Foles just started this week against the Falcons. He led the comeback. It happened. But then you look at Dak and you say, Nick Foles, you're not going to stay for much longer. Another 2 to 3 years is probably the maximum amount that Dak is going to go, that Nick Foles is going to stay there 2 or 3 years. It's not a long-term replacement. That's why I was saying they could sign Cam Newton or like Andy Dalton, someone that can play for 5-6 years. And Dak, he could play his whole career here. And he has a fine set of weapons, not as good as he had with Dallas, but he's going to have a really good receiver out of Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller, and then you got a dynamic running back out of David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen. The offensive line is not as good as you know how the Cowboys' offensive line is. But you can if you just play at an average level with these weapons, you can go to the Super Bowl because of how good this defense is. Khalil Mack could just sack every single quarterback in the league, and I think this is a pretty good trade for the Bears. But what are the Cowboys going to give in return? I think Jerry Jones, he might think, I can't pay him, so why don't I just get Nick Foles or Mitchell Trubisky for Dak Prescott and a pick or something like that. And I think this trade could actually happen potentially if Nick Foles doesn't do well. But if he goes let's just say he goes 16-0, they'll probably keep him for another year or two. But it's not gonna be the long-term replacement Nick Foles. So I think that's why probably Dak Prescott might go there, and maybe Jerry Jones attacks that place because the Bears need help at the quarterback position, and if you can get this superstar, you can have him for a long time. So I think it makes sense if you could trade Dak Prescott to the Chicago Bears. I think the number one place that Dak could go to is the Washington football team. They have the cap, they have everything. What if Dwayne Haskins isn't the answer, and Kyle Allen's not the answer, and Alex Smith, it's not the answer? They're going to have to make a trade. They're going to have to get some quarterback prospects or something. But they have the stuff, and Dak might want to go here, even though he doesn't have any weapons. You could start off with Dak by getting him in this Washington football team. Maybe you could make a wild card spot or something. Maybe you could trade Dwayne Haskins and Alex Smith for Dak and a pick or something like that in this trade. But the biggest wide open spot is their own divisional rivals, and I think Dak would like it, going against his own Cowboys and the Washington football jersey. That would be a really good matchup to see. I bet that will be a Sunday night football game once. That would be a really good game. I think this team is, he doesn't have weapons there. He doesn't have anyone there, to be honest to you guys. He has Scary Terry. That's it. But I think in the next couple of years, they might be able to get this polished wide receiver prospects or sign maybe AB or trade for really good wide receivers. Maybe Amari Cooper comes there because Amari Cooper's contract too. So there are a lot of big questions, and I think Dak could attract a lot of wide receivers there, and then this Washington football team, they already have a really good front seven. So this is the most logical spot. This can happen anytime, okay, guys? This might happen in 2 years, but this is going to be a really good trade. He might have Scary Terry. Maybe Antonio Brown comes out of nowhere. Maybe Amari Cooper decides to go there if the Cowboys are going to go under a rebuild or something like that. And I think it's been a lot of rumors about Dak Prescott going to other teams, and I think the Washington football team's probably my number one place that he's going to go to because we don't know how their quarterbacks will be, and they need help as a franchise having a really good starting seven. So I think Dak, he could go to any of these teams, but ultimately it depends on Dak's mindset. And I think Washington football team's a good one, a new young team. This wouldn't be a bad team to go to for Dak Prescott. Make sure to like and subscribe and click the bell for all the notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.